Okay, moving on from the single down, single up, double down, double up, we're going to now work on the hip switch, and we're also going to work on the diagonal strike. So these two sort of fit together, so I'm going to show you both. Let's start with the hip switch. So we're switching hip positions. What we're going to do from here, from one hand on, obviously we know where to hold that, up by the top here, by the metal. We're just going to look at our watch, look at the time, okay? And what's going to happen is as we bend our wrist away from us, this is going to point up in the air. What we do from here is, and in fact you'll probably find as you come over, you're already in that position quite naturally. As the wrist bends forward, that's our normal downwards position as we touch the hip. Nunchaku sticks up here. All we're going to simply do is keep in that wrist bend and keeping the Nunchaku handle pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to touch the hip bone on the opposite side. So again, not directly on the side, the hip bone here, and the metal, as I said before in the first video, you have to physically touch the hip bone, okay? It doesn't have to be hard, but it must just be a touch. Again, this is all about precision, this is all about accuracy. So what we do from here, the reason why we touch the hip bone slightly in front is mainly for this particular exercise. It's so the chain can sit nicely on the side. If you come too far around, hits you in the back, not comfortable position. So a hip bone actually means it sits nicely on the side, and then we can work those positions later on. We can come around the opposite side, okay? So I'll show you that one in a minute. So we're going to come around here. This is hip switch, or we find a lot of students doing down here. Can't be bothered to put the effort in, and then they wonder why it's not working, or they keep getting hit with it. Okay, turn the wrist, handle points upwards here, and we're going to go side to side. Okay, look how it's sat on the side down, touching the hip bone, touching the hip bone. Touch, 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 touch. Okay, don't lose control. Okay, nicely in the hip there. Sharp movements. Now, what we can do from there, I'm going to set you a little routine. Make sure, again, you can do those hip switches on both sides. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you a little routine now. We like to build the routines up. Once you've got that hip switch, you can now do your single up, your single down. Okay, you can do your double up and your double down. I'll do it the other way around, double down and double up. What we do from here is you can also come down from any of those moves and just come across. Just practice that little hip switch in between. Maybe you can do a double down and across and back up again. A double down and across and back up again. You might do a single down, single across, back, and do a double up if you want to from that position there. So you can mix up those routines of what we've learned so far. Single down, single up, double down, double up, and the hip switch from there. Now let me show you one of the main reasons why we developed the hip switch. Main reason why is we want to do one of the biggest strikes, which is a diagonal strike, coming across into the side of the neck, side of the head, again taking some of the weapons away, hitting against arms. So from that position there, we're going to come directly across. Now we already know this position because we've just been practicing it. The wrist is bent, the Nunchaku handle points upwards, and we're touching the hip bone there. There we are. So what we do is rather than go down and across and back, we're just going to go diagonally there. Now trying to take it back is quite hard to do. So one thing you can do then is just return from here and create a little three-piece triangle routine. And this is where you've got your first full routine. So from that position there, we're going to come diagonally across. See how the handles turn. If you don't touch the hip, if you don't bend the wrist, it's just going to come flat. It's going to be quite hard to get back, and I don't want you to get flipped with this. So we're going to come across, hand points up, back and up. So what you can now do is from your diagonal strike here, diagonal strike coming across the body, we can practice a little three-piece routine. Make sure again on both sides, where you come diagonally across, 2 and up. 1, 2 and up. Okay? Okay, so let's put that all together. So we have very quickly covered the single down and single up, the double down and the double up. We've covered the hip switch from here, and we've covered the diagonal strike. And what we can do now is put a little routine together where we start to do double down and back up again. We could come straight across and do a double up. So we can mix it all up. We can do anything which includes that movement, that diagonal strike there. We can also do anything that includes that single down, single up, and the double down and the double up. So you've got single down, single up. You've got the double down and the double up, so that's 4 moves. you've got the hip switch, which is number 5, and you've got the diagonal strike, number 6. So those 6 moves can all be mixed up, and you can now do a routine, just mixing it all up and down, coming across. So try as many routines as you can, doing double down, double up, diagonal strikes with a double up, diagonal strikes with a single up. Mixing it all up, and all of a sudden it starts to look like you're doing proper Nunchaku routines. This is one of the basic routines from the karate, and see if you can make sure it's done on both sides. Okay? Watch the next video. We're going to move on to a couple of harder moves.